This is 100 unicorns, 12 different go-to-market motions, and quick thank you to everybody who purchased Compact Keywords this morning. This morning was a great morning with sales. It's just so nice going about your day and getting Stripe notifications for the thing that you spent the last 11 months building. It is a great feeling. 100 unicorns, 12 different go-to-market motions from the first 1,000 newsletter. This is going to be an awesome one. We have stories. We have flowcharts. This is going to give you how do people hear about your product and why do they buy it. And the link to this will be in the description for this episode. So here it is. Today, I'll be walking through the maze of go-to-market motions. A go-to-market motion is the answer to two questions. How do people hear about your product? Why do they buy it? And the answers are correlated. In the two flowcharts, I use reasons consumers adopt a new solution to arrive at the most commonly utilized channel based on research of 120 plus unicorns and public companies. It gets into a section called For High Intent Customers. If you are building something people already know they need, that's also what Compact Keywords is about. CompactKeywords.com. It's about targeting people who know what they want. They just don't know the brand that's going to give it to them. And in this flowchart, from the first 1,000 newsletter in this article, we have the go-to-market motion flowchart for high-intent customers. We start with a high-intent customer. So they're either going to go to the right, which is into a competitive space. And then the next question is there an opportunity cost? Is the customer locked in with a competitor? If the answer is no, they're going to fish on forums. They're going to engage on forums, communities, and platforms where potential customers discuss similar needs. This is an opportunity to provide value to showcase your solution. Now, if the customer is locked in, then you got to do cold outreach. So you're directly reaching out to customers who are locked into competitor solutions with a personalized value proposition and explaining why it's worthwhile to switch to you. That's a harder one, but maybe we're going to the left, which is no viable alternatives. So the next question here is the customer actively looking for a solution or not? If they are actively looking for a solution, then we make discoverable content. That's Compact Keywords. You create content that makes your solution easily searchable and understandable for customers actively seeking solutions. Examples: SEO, webinars, product comparisons, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts rank very well in Google. LinkedIn posts, X posts. Now, if they're not actively looking for a solution, we have to assess whether the customer's needs and our solution, is it highly complex or is it pretty simple? So if it's highly complex, then we need to have really good service to a key customer and use that as a strong study to attract more interest. You really have to have good case studies here. If it's low complexity, it's a lot easier. Identify and leverage existing distribution channels to get your solution in front of the right audience. Partner channels, app marketplaces, newsletters, influencer collaborations. Now we're moving out of this flowchart and into the rest of the article. So producing discoverable content, it's ideal if the customer is high intent, actively searching the internet for a solution, and is frustrated by the lack of a viable solution for their needs. And so we have examples here. Zapier. Zapier found its first customers by scouring tech forums for people interested in integrations that were not officially supported. Or Gemini, not Google's Gemini, but the crypto Gemini. Gemini took off by posting in crypto circles and communities about being the first fully licensed and compliant Bitcoin and soon after Ether exchange worldwide. Serious banking clients had no alternatives. Number 2, create a superfan by over-servicing one customer at a time. And I love this. This is ideal for if the customer is high intent, not actively searching for a solution, and requires a complex, nuanced solution for their particular use case. More examples. Vanta. So Christina, one of the co-founders of Vanta, heard that some team was struggling with SOC 2 compliance, and she proactively sent this team a spreadsheet outlining steps to take to ensure compliance. Or Substack. Hamish, one of the co-founders of Substack, knew that Bill Bishop, a renowned internet writer, wanted to create a subscription for his publication, so he and the team at Substack worked maniacally close with Bill to create version 1 of the product. And I'm actually going to read this later on. I'm going to save this. This is a whole story about Substack. This is great. Wait, here's another one. Check. Check got the idea from their first client, Homebase, who wanted to offer payroll but would not dare touch it because of how complicated and expensive payroll is. So They work together with Homebase to produce the first version of Check. And that's creating super fans by over-servicing one customer at a time. Next is hack a distribution channel. I'm excited to read this one, but my coffee is ready. Give me a moment. I'm going to go get this lovely bubbling coffee that I can hear. 1 second. And I'm back with my coffee. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. I put butter in my coffee because it makes caffeine get absorbed slower throughout the day, so it's more gradual. You're less likely to have a crash. I'm so excited to drink this. There's a lot of coffee in here. It's a big cup. And I like the way that it tastes. I like the way that it tastes with the butter in it. We are on to hack a distribution channel. This is ideal for if the customer is high intent, but not actively searching for a solution, and the offering is straightforward. 3 examples here: WhatsApp, TikTok, and PayPal. For WhatsApp, founders kept changing the name of the app so it would be featured in the What's New section of the App Store with every update. In TikTok, for Facebook and Instagram was appended at the end of the app name on the App Store to get discovered by people looking for Facebook or Instagram. That's so funny. And for PayPal, they created bots that reached out to eBay sellers pretending to be real customers and insisting on paying only via PayPal. Oh my God, I love this article. I was hacking a distribution channel. Number 4 is fish on forums. This is ideal for if there are many alternative solutions and there is little to no lock-in to adapt a new offering. We have 3 examples here: Postman, Veed, and Ahrefs. Postman was introduced to the world as a Stack Overflow reply, a lightweight tool that Abhinav, a co-founder, thought might help developers test and debug APIs in a much more productive manner. Veed, the founder, answered over 100 questions on Quora about video editing software. And then Ahrefs bought ads in targeted forums for SEO specialists and marketers. That's interesting. Ahrefs just use ads. So that was high intent customers. And now we move on to a flowchart for low intent customers. This is a lot harder. This is if you're building something people don't know they need yet. Okay, here we go. First sip of coffee of the day. Oh my God, that's so good. And it's so hot. I just burnt my tongue. That's so tasty. This flowchart is called the go-to-market motion flowchart for low-intent customers. So we start with the low-intent customer. Let's say that they go to the left, where there are existing alternatives. Question: are there existing alternatives in the market? For example, large enterprises like dinosaurs, old companies that people are tired of. So if the answer is yes, we move on to another question: is your product self-serve? If the answer to that is yes, then number 6, people can just launch somewhere. Start with a targeted, controlled launch in a specific segment or geography to prove traction and build momentum. If the answer is no, then we need a warm intro. If it's not self-serve, you need a warm intro. Focus on warm introductions. Leverage personal or professional networks, referrals, and partnerships to gain a foothold. Now, let's say that there are no existing alternatives in the market. Okay, so now we have low-intent customers. They don't know that they need this yet, and there's no existing competitors. Then we have to ask, does your product have a broad appeal, like outside your primary target market? If the answer to that is no broad appeal, then it's a niche appeal, then number 8, embed yourself in the community. Deeply integrate into niche communities where potential customers exist. Participate and engage authentically to build trust and credibility. And there's going to be examples for all of these. If the answer is yes, so there is broad appeal, then we ask, is the product geographically constrained? Does location limit its adoption? If the answer to that is yes, so it is geographically constrained, then we grab attention on the streets, implement highly visible location-specific outreach, such as street-level marketing, local events, or guerrilla advertising. If the answer is no, build in public. Build in public, baby. That's the name of my TikTok. That's how I started this brand. Share the product's development journey openly on social media and other platforms to build excitement, transparency, and trust. That's what I was doing with Compact Keywords, talking about it, making it every day. By the way, fun fact, if you looked at the Compact Keywords landing page, I'm not sure I mentioned this. There are a ridiculous amount of Easter eggs that I put into that landing page in a bunch of different places. So branch number 2, we go back up to the top to this low intent user. And now they're going to go to the right. Is this a completely new category? If the answer is yes, it's a new category, we ask, is the target audience B2B or B2C? If it's B2B, try warm outreach. Reach out to prospects through personalized messages, thought leadership, and case studies to introduce your product. If it's B2C, we use influencers. There's tons of different ways. Influencers are a good example. Leverage influencers to align with your product to build credibility and reach a broad audience. And there's actually a third branch, and that third branch is below. So we have the low intent customer. Instead of going to the left or the right, they're going down to the bottom. And that third branch is, does your product have a strong social mission? And there's only one for this, because the other ones are not necessarily. But if the answer is yes, your product has a strong social mission, then full-blown PR is a good strategy. Launch an extensive public relations and marketing campaign focused on the product's social impact to raise awareness and establish credibility. So let's get into the examples now. We start with number 5, which is cold outreach with a hook. This is ideal if the customer is low intent, there are many alternative solutions, and adapting a new solution is a pain. We have 3 examples: Zoom, Trip Actions, and Hinge Health. For Zoom, after reaching out to Stanford University, Eric, the founder of Zoom, entered Zoom in a competitive bid with other more established industry players. Zoom won by offering a more reliable product at an affordable price. That was cold outreach. Trip Actions, also cold outreach. Ariel sold Trip Actions by reaching out to large enterprise CFOs and CXOs, offering the companies the ability to save money on company travel by leveraging the unique Trip Actions employee rebate program. And then Hinge Health reached out to Fortune 500 benefits executives of blue-collar heavy companies, offering a solution to take over the headache of managing MSK, a back chronic disease for their employees. All right. Number 6, launch somewhere and get PR. This is ideal for if the customer is low intent, not actively searching for alternatives. The market is dominated by legacy players and your offering is self-serve. Notion is a good example of this. Notion's launch on Product Hunt and smaller, more targeted channels resulted in a big PR wave, likely due to the unique use case the product enabled: multiplayer plus single-player productivity. Twilio launched on TechCrunch after an angel investor used the service to prank Michael Arrington, the co-founder of TechCrunch. That's smart. Fast had a massive launch predicated on the company's build in public movement that garnered much attention from high-profile investors and influencers in the venture capital space. Number 7, warm outreach. This is ideal for if the customer is low intent, the market is dominated by legacy players, and your offering requires integration or infrastructure work. So this one's hard. Here are some examples. Workday. According to the founder, Workday's earliest customer bought the friendship, not the software. They were mostly mid-sized companies where the founder knew the CEOs personally. And then Charlie HR, the founder, visited initial customers, manually onboarded them, and built a great relationship with them. He then asked them to tell a friend. That's how they got from 5 to 10 customers to 20 to 30 customers, and they did it pretty fast. This strategy, the warm outreach, is also ideal for if the customer is low intent and the market is not yet established. For example, Data Robot got its first customers with warm intros, selling a data science in a box platform backed by the credibility of its founders. Number 8, embed yourself in the community. This is ideal for if the customer is low intent, the market is not dominated by legacy players, and the offering has a niche appeal. We have 3 examples. These are big examples: GitHub, Coinbase, and SnackPass. Let's start with SnackPass. Similar to Facebook, SnackPass grew like fire by infiltrating on-campus communities and offering a new form of communication within the community through SnackPass gifts. Coinbase. Brian, the founder of Coinbase, offered members of various crypto communities 0.1 Bitcoin for feedback on the product. That was a long time ago. I remember when Coinbase launched, if you got 1 Bitcoin, they would give you another for free. Isn't that funny? And now the price of Bitcoin is 100,000 per coin. Actually, it was maybe even several years after the launch, but you could buy 1 Bitcoin and then get another free. It didn't double everything, but they would just give you a free Bitcoin. And they'd give 0.1 Bitcoin for feedback on the product. That's nearly $10,000. So basically, the founder of Coinbase was paying people in crypto communities to try Coinbase. And then GitHub gained traction from founders being heavily involved in the Ruby on Rails community and offering a headache-free way to host Git projects. There was a decent overlap between Ruby on Rails communities and early Git fanatics. Number 9, this is a fun one. Grab attention on the streets. Ideal for if the customer is low intent, the market is not dominated by legacy players, and the offering is geographically constrained. We have Thursday, GoPuff, and Neighbor as examples. Neighbor used flyers to spread the word about the product. To get people's attention, they paper-clipped a dollar bill with a note saying, "This is the first dollar you'll make renting out your space." So use these flyers with dollar bills attached to them. GoPuff grabbed eyeballs by offering a one-stop puff shop for pot and tobacco smokers, delivering equipment like hookahs, vaporizers, grinders, and rolling paper for late-night orders on the Drexel University campus. For Thursday, which used to be called Honeypot, it got its first users by placing whiteboards with quirky messages around the streets of London. And this is the message on the street of London. "To my cheating boyfriend at George Rawlings, don't bother coming home tonight. Enjoy seeing this on Instagram. The same thing I saw you and that girl on the West End. Oh, the irony." I think that's what it says. It's kind of blurry. P.S. You're deluded if you think Honeypot is the next Hinge, because Thursday used to be called Honeypot. So they had this at the end. You're deluded if you think Honeypot is the next Hinge. And then I guess people Googled Honeypot. Number 10, building in public. This is ideal. Lots of people know this one. Ideal for if the customer is low intent, the market is not dominated by legacy players, and the offering has a wide appeal. Build in public is really good for lots of things, but here's some big examples. Elon Musk should really be mentioned here. Elon Musk is like one of is the top build in public person because he essentially does that with his companies. But the examples here are Pave, Design Joy, and Buffer. So for Buffer, Leo Wildrich, a co-founder, wrote 150 guest posts in the first 9 months of running Buffer. For Design Joy, Brett, the creator, regularly shared his progress on indiehackers.com, a well-known community for indie makers. For Pave, employees were encouraged to share industry-wide salary stats, the main company offering, on LinkedIn, which garnered a lot of attention. That's interesting. Employees were encouraged to share industry-wide salary stats on LinkedIn. Second to last one is influencers. This is ideal for if the customer is low intent, the market is not dominated by legacy players, and the offering has a wide appeal. Huge companies have done this. Medium, Canva, Spotify. Well, I mean, influencer marketing is huge. Everyone does it. Let's do Medium. Ev Williams, who co-founded Twitter before Medium, tapped his network to get influencers as early adopters of the product. President Obama was amongst this cohort of influencer early adopters because influencers are great if you believe your product has a wide appeal. Also great if you get a niche influencer and you have a niche product. For Canva, Melanie Perkins, a co-founder, aggressively reached out to graphic design influencers to find some win-win scenarios to get influencer power behind her design-in-a-box solution. And for Spotify, the founders asked music bloggers to beta test the MVP. The product was impressive enough in one particular aspect, speed. This gave the bloggers an interesting angle to write about. This is also ideal for if the customer is low intent and the offering is a consumer product in a new emerging category. We have LinkedIn Product Hunt and Step as examples. Reid Hoffman utilized his network of influential people in the tech space to kickstart LinkedIn. For Product Hunt, only technology heavy hitters, bloggers, and influencers were allowed to hunt products on the site to maintain high quality and drum up interest on the site. That was at the beginning. And for Step, which is a kid-focused neobank, it penned a deal with the number 2 followed TikToker Charli D'Amelio to invest and promote the product. And then the final one is full-blown PR. This is ideal for low-intent customers for products with a strong social mission. We have Telegram and Hey as examples. And I've talked about Hey on the program before. The Hey email client launched with a full manifesto that stood for user privacy and control. And then for Telegram, Pavel Durov, who also created the Facebook of Russia and had a very public altercation with the government, started Telegram as a revenge business that stood for user privacy and against government surveillance. And they went hard with sharing their social missions. And that is all for 100 Unicorns, 12 different go-to-market motions. I think this was a great episode. I feel really good about my coffee, about sharing all of that. Compact keywords going really well. This has just been a really nice day. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you watched on YouTube, thank you so much for listening. If you listened on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, this is episode 559 for my daily digital marketing podcast, 559 days in a row. I will talk to you again. Oh, and tomorrow we have a special guest, Jason Levin. Check him out on X If you have any questions for him, let me know. That's going to be a good episode. Thank you so much. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.